I think the last time I was in Dadaab was about 22 years ago, when I was working for UNHCR, and I think I spent about 2 weeks here, but I think a lot has changed. I cannot recognize what has happened over the last 22 years, but it's a joy for me to be back here and to reconnect with the colleagues in the humanitarian space. I almost had a career in UNHCR. Actually, I worked like for 2-3 years before I got distracted by other things. But thank God I found my way back, and we are here today. Kenya, as you're aware, is a signatory of the United Nations Convention on the Status of Refugees and its protocol, as well as other international and regional treaties and conventions on the protection of refugees. We are also bound by our constitution. The Constitution of Kenya in Article 2 provides that Kenya is bound by all legal principles that emanate from international treaties and conventions, as well as customary international law, and therefore, together with our Constitution, to continue to respect and fulfill our obligations internationally, regionally, and even under our Constitution. And in that regard, last year, Kenya adopted an updated, improved, enhanced Refugees Act of 2022. But this act has not been implemented. We have been working on the regulations that are required for the implementation of the act, and I am happy to announce on behalf of the government of Kenya that first, the government will not roll back, neither will the government backtrack or withdraw or change its mind from the full implementation of the Refugees Act of 2022, as well as our compliance with all the applicable constitutional and international obligations. Secondly, I am also happy to announce that in the next 1 or 2 months, we will be submitting the regulations that are aimed at operationalization and implementation of the Refugees Act of 2022 to make sure the Act will open up the space that refugees' rights and lives revolve around. It is going to enhance the freedoms of refugees. It is going to enhance the opportunities for refugees. It is going to enhance the protection of refugees, including their access to livelihoods and other socioeconomic benefits that they can access. We will implement that law, and in the coming weeks and months, the government will be putting in operation the remaining legal instruments to make sure that we meet those obligations. The government is also at the final end of finalizing a comprehensive policy plan for refugees and refugees management for our country. And again, in a few weeks, we'll be speaking to you as stakeholders, all the stakeholders in the refugee space, the UNHCR, the World Food Programme, other implementing partners of the international organizations working here, we will be opening up the space to allow us roll out a comprehensive policy plan which will provide essential and also to basic amenities. And in that regard, again, within this month, we will be making further pronouncements on the steps we need to take to implement the policy shift from settlement or rather from encampment to integrated settlements, which gives refugees a little more freedom. The other thing I needed to note is that the government of Kenya will assume greater responsibility, visibility, and will take leadership in the refugee status determination process in a little more visible manner going forward. For that reason, we are making administrative and capacity changes within the Directorate of Refugee Affairs, the DRS, to make sure that we have enough human resources who are skilled and who are able to work with UNHCR and our other partners in the process of making sure that the institution of asylum is not abused and that our refugee status determination process is full. A complete database of all refugees in our country. And more so, it is intended to integrate the refugee database into the master population register of the Republic of Kenya. We are going to roll out a master population register for the people of Kenya, which shall comprise of a number of components. First, the register of all births in Kenya, which is now being administered by our Civil Registry Services Department. We're going to ensure that our civil registry becomes the first component of the master population register. The second component is going to be all adults who are Kenyan citizens, who have the Kenyan identity card as citizens, will also form part of component 2 of this master population register. And that register will be primarily administered by our National Registration Bureau. Component number 3 is going to be the register of all foreign nationals lawfully in Kenya, a foreign nationals register. And component number 4 is going to